Alright, peace. This is my first recording of the class I'm developing, and it will be coming together beautifully. So, we're gonna start it. This is a compilation of my understandings, and they are constantly evolving. It will be a subscription to all of my classes, and as I grow and keep growing and evolving my own personal individual understanding, I will be updating this and showing you guys the secrets that I've come across and what I use to help me deal with my inner realm and my utilization of the cosmic forces in my mind and all around us. So, demystifying spirituality and discovering the mysteries of the universe. Spirituality has been a term that we just throw around. Words are just thrown around for no reason, with so many connotations behind it. But spirituality is nothing but your inner world. It's your inner realm. You are spirit experiencing matter. We'll get into that. And discovering the mysteries of the universe. You're the mystery. It's your story, my story. You're the mystery of the universe. When you discover your single point, your own rhythm of your being, and the non-rhythm of your being, the rhythm that your soul wants to embody, the rhythm of your soul. Once you start embodying that, you will feel the cosmos working through you, or the spirit working through you. And rich, we're redefining what it means to be rich, realizing I create happiness, that we have a choice in every moment to choose what we choose to entertain in our own awareness, in our consciousness. And it's very powerful to be aware of the programs that we have around being wealthy and healthy, and our sense of abundance. And that's all in our perceptions and our thought processes. So to the next. So this is a little disclaimer before we start. These understandings are meant for you to create your own understandings of life. They are not here not to follow anyone or subscribe to any ideologies, concepts, religions, and dogmas. This compilation of understanding is intended to show you what your inner, true, spiritual self already knows. That all the power, which is love, of the universe is in the inner side of you, on the individual level. All massive change starts on the individual level first. This presentation is meant to empower the individual. We are here to be co-creators of our experience and realize the inner power we hold over our external conditions. I understand that we all have our own beliefs, and my intentions are not to impose mine onto anyone. I am going to convey through reasoning that any belief system we have is actually creating our reality. I'm here to guide you with concepts to say that our true nature is beyond conceptions, that the individual is the all-infinite, boundless, abundant, pure awareness in a limited, finite form, which is your body. So a teacher is never a giver of truth. He is a guide, a pointer to the truth that each student must find for himself. So I don't want to be no teacher, and I don't think any teacher would likely like to regard themselves as a teacher, as the sense of knowing yourself. Being a teacher is meant to be a catalyst for your own truth and your own being's knowledge of the way it wants to unravel life for you. So a teacher can give you all the jewels in the world, but if you aren't ready and prepared, and your being isn't ready to handle that knowledge, you won't receive it from that teacher. And the main teacher is nature, is this experience we are having. You'll see. So everything you're looking for is already within you. I can't stress this enough. I have to remind myself of this all the time. This class and this PowerPoint is meant to have you be self-responsible of your reality, of your inner reality. Everything that you're looking for is already within you. We have been searching our whole lives for something outside of us. We have been conditioned from the school system, from our parents, to look outside of ourselves for something greater than ourselves. And we start to look at this outer reality as something supreme over our own being. We think that the people outside of us and the forces outside of us have more control over us, have more power over us, when we are the ones who derive power from within ourselves, when the external world is putting pressure against us and we must rise above, or we must pull out more power from within ourselves. We've all experienced those type of moments. So we're going to learn how to invoke feelings in ourselves and invoke thoughts in ourselves and feed them, and be able to live in those realities that we desire. And our search for God or the Spirit is the one that's looking, is the one that's perceiving. And if you're able to perceive the perceiver, you're able to knock down those barriers of illusions. So there's only one success, and that is to be able to spend your life in your own way. Wow. I mean, we only have this experience now in this body, and we're here to live it up. We are here, people are dying, being born. There's nothing static about this experience, except what I'll get into later, but this whole experience is magical. This moment that we're having right now is going to pass, and then that moment's going to pass, and then this moment's going to be renewed. So we're constantly being bombarded with different concepts of success, when success is just being able to live in the moment and fully enjoy it and be fulfilled from it, and seeing the magic that's being taken place every day, every moment. And if we continue to listen to people outside of us for what we should do with our own lives, with our own time and experience, which is our currency, we will end up going to a suffering place, because our spirit, our soul, our just who we are in our being will not be able to take the waste of the, not a waste, but the misdirection of energies that is precious, which is our time. So Wayne Dyer, he was a big part of my awakening. Great information. Many teachers have great information. If you're able to have the eyes to extract information in all times. So don't die with your music still in you. Don't die with your purpose unfulfilled. Don't die feeling as if your life has been wrong. Don't let that happen to you. I mean, we have to make the decision now. We can't go to the next day with regret. I would remember that I would think about going up to a girl, talking to someone, and I would vacillate in my mind and imagine in my mind, but I wouldn't actually do it. And there's this feeling of regret, this feeling of helplessness that we put ourselves into. It's self-destructive, and the only reason we do die with our music still in us is because our purpose not being filled is because we care about what others think. We care about how we're going to be perceived. We care about looking stupid in the beginning. We feel like life is closing in on us, and we have to continue to run from that closing in, because it is. But that's where balance is. When you keep moving and being able to stay with the rhythm of nature's balance onto you. Alright. So, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed, and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the ideas, the abilities, the talents, the gifts, the dreams given to you by life. That you, for whatever reason, never pursued those dreams. You never did anything with those ideas. You never used your talents. You never used those gifts. You never took advantage of those opportunities. And there they are, standing around your bed, looking at you before you take your last dying breath. Look at you with angry eyes, saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life, and now we must die with you forever." If you died today, what dreams would die with you? What abilities would die with you unexpressed? What talents would pass away? What gifts would be buried forever? You could pause this if you want, because this regret, this self-destructive energy is what we're all in. And this self-destructive energy is fear. This self-destructive energy is survival mechanism turned against ourselves. And we must realize that this survival will not bring us the fruits we want. It would only keep us in a self-destructive pattern. We must look to thrive. So our children need to be taught how to think, not what to think. Not all of us, but most of society lives in a place where we believe that we know the best for everyone and everything, and we don't. We as guardians or teachers, and our guardians and teachers, we think we know it all, but our perception of what we know is very, very, very limited, only to our experience. Our experience is not knowing it all. We know only what we've experienced. So when you can only teach your experience, you're limiting an aspect of themselves. You're limiting, and you impose your experience onto someone, the principles or the extracts that you get from those experiences, and you impose it onto another child, or to a being that is fully absorbent of information. They will take that and they will live by it as reality. And it is good to program healthily, but healthy in the sense that it will serve their reality and be in their subconscious to operate in. But in this society, through mass mind control and all that, we're not taught how to reason, how to think, how to be able to critically think and sit in our mind and ponder things and put ideas together from different sources, and be able to know the limitations of your thinking and of yourself, which is, the limitations is your ignorance of what you can know and what you want to know. We'll touch it more. So education, etymologically broke down, education comes from two Latin roots, educare and educere. Educare, it doesn't matter. Educare defines as to train or to mold. Educere defines as to lead out. That's deep, because one is to train or to mold. So in essence, we are training or molding our ego, our individual personality, or personal reality. We are training Christian or yourself. You're training your individual I to be something, to be to the way it moves and the way it projects energy and the thought form. We are training thought forms. We are training an idea, and we are constantly filling that idea and training that idea and repetitiously using that idea. That's a type of training, the training of an ego or a thought form. Eduseri defines as to lead out. So teachings and teachers are meant to bring things out of you. They're meant to bring out your innate talents. They're meant to awaken certain parts of your DNA. And these are totally polarity opposites of education, of the learning experience. Because training and conditioning yourself through discipline of any type of mental thought pattern or physical movement is a sense of willpower. It's a masculine force. But when we bring to lead out, it's more of a feminine aspect. It's more of a magnetizing of something that was not in your awareness before. That's only because you've had something inside of you that was there before. So when something is let out of your being, or you realize something that you never had before, that you thought you never had, that is being when you learn. That is when you expand, or you go inward and you lead something out of your meditation. You bring something out of it. You take something beautiful. So there are two different principles of learning: to bring forth from the subconscious mind or source to inner and external realization and manifestation. Then there is molding a form within our being, subconscious field, to create a conscious thought form, self-image idea, which is creating a reality. So when we go into meditation, or we want to find guidance, we must surrender to the intelligence around us. And the intelligence around us could be defined as prana or chi or life force, or what people call God. And we'll get into that later. But you do not pump your blood. You do not breathe your breath. You do not do all these unconscious things. This unconscious field becomes conscious through us. So when we look with our consciousness or awareness to our unconsciousness, or to the unconscious field, we're able to pull the answers, or we're able to allow the answers into our mind, because our surrender of our ego, of our trained self, of our I, dissolves, and consciously we are able to tap in. We're able to bring our I that thinks it's everything that we think it to be, but our I is just a part of the infinite. So when we learn how to meditate, in the sense that we do not attach or entertain our awareness to all of the mental thoughts and abstractions and feelings of our own inner reality, which is formless and beingless, we are able to grab our perfection and feel it, and we get our answer. And that's from knowing that it is complete balance of the imbalance in the mind, that everything is in divine order. So being able to give that up, you have balance given to you. Okay, so then there's molding a form within our being, in our subconscious field, to create a conscious thought form, self-idea, creating a reality. So we can create health in our mind and mold it with our being mentally. We can look at this health inside of our mind, which is seemingly separate through the word, and we step into that health and we feel how it feels. We see the experiences we'll be having in health. We feel, we embody, we bring that frequency of health into our mind when we felt healthy, and we live it as much as we can. We see it in our mind right now, and we consciously do this all the time until it becomes automatic, until it becomes on a time loop in our being, just like all our other programs. So everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. I felt this way my whole life until I got into this knowledge. But we all have something in us that we're here to give to this world, and this school system has boxed everyone in into learning one thing, when every single person is completely uniquely different and all learn different ways. They all here to experience different things in different ways. They're all here to cultivate their inner uniqueness. And that's why I didn't get into when to lead out, because I got into the meditation and all that. But essentially, your guides and your teachers, which is your experiences, and your mentors, your guardians, they're here to help you cultivate that your unique expression. Your unique expression won't be found in a textbook. It'll only be found in you. So that's what this was touching, Albert Einstein. So before a child talks, they sing. Before they write, they draw. As soon as they stand, they dance. Art is fundamental to human expression. The spirit, or the way life moves, is all art. The divine order is art. Earth is art. We convey things through rhythm and harmony, and rhythm is the wave, and we are nothing but waves, and the particles are spiritual. Those particles are what we're creating from the waves. As we are a wave, we're creating the particles through looking, through observing. So do you ever wonder why all of the most richest people are artists and the brokest people? It's because art touches a different part of you. Art is the essence. Art can be anything. Art could be the way you talk. Art could be the way you move something. Art can be any form of expression. It could just be a human expression. It could just be lifting weights. It could just be playing basketball. That's all an art form. Everything is an art and a science, and you combine both of them and you get a type of magic. So we're going to be cultivating the unique individual expression of you and the self-belief to express your own truth, as well as learning acceptance of others' unique expressions. Life is all about unique individual human expression, speaking, being, and living your own truth, expressing your truth fully in all things, whatever that might be. Being able to express yourself without judgment, without pain penalty, being able to express all aspects of yourself in raw expression is living your truth. All truths to the individual is different. That's what makes everyone unique, and being able to express your truth in that way, you are able to bring something new, raw, and authentic, straight from God, Spirit, the Infinite. This is how change in the outer world, and you renew your inner fire for being alive. So really, you could feel someone when they're living in their truth. You could feel someone's essence when you talk to them. You could feel if they're living in that truth or if they're not. And what really moves people is feeling that energy, because it's talking a part of themselves about them living their own truth and living that divine raw expression of themselves. And This is how realities are changed. This is how people are touched. People feel you. People feel your authentic pain and struggle and the climb to your best version of yourself. And they feel something. They feel something divine. They feel something that they can't explain, but they know it's in them, and they know that they have to bring it out. So if you cannot trust yourself, you cannot even trust your mistrust of yourself. So that without this underlying trust in the whole system of nature, you're simply paralyzed. So we have been conditioned to look outside of ourselves, to not listen to our inner beings, our spirit, what our spirit talks to us about. We have been conditioned to mistrust that. When we're conditioned to mistrust that, we are lost. We are off the GPS. We are off track. And we have to get to know ourselves past our ego. So there's a complex going on in us. We listen to our thoughts and we say we trust them, but if the thoughts are self-destructive, then you do not trust yourself. You have a mistrust in yourself. So how can you trust those self-destructive things that are against yourself? That's not truly yours. That's not truly you. So your own soul is your guru. Your spirit speaks to you in every moment. And if you decide to listen, and if you decide to use your intellect to try to decode what it's saying, and use your thriving mind instead of your survival mind, and see the benefits and the higher perspectives of what's being conveyed to you in the moments, you're able to extract that wisdom and be able to follow and know. So when you quiet the mind and listen to your higher self, if you are able to be silent enough and tap into the pure essence, which is silence, and the polarity of pure essence of silence is thought, is vibration. So if you're constantly in vibration, focusing on vibration, you will not be able to listen to that other polarity, which is your higher self. So there is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy. Wow. This took me a while to get to realize, but when we go through awakening ourselves, these ancient scriptures and these writings and teachings and language and all of our beings, all of the beings that we create, they all come from you. They all come from the source. It all started in the mind first. All of these things in your external world came from someone's mind. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is actually you. You is the body. You is in the body. The you that you think you are is not you. But this vehicle that is the body is sort of like a Akashic record holder. It holds everything that your soul brought into it. And when you move this body, when you tap into your body, when you practice mindfulness meditation, where you put all your attention into your body, to different aspects of your body, you're unraveling these aspects of yourself in that particular body part, or just in your body, because you only have one body. You only have one experience in this body, and everyone else has their own experience in their body. And you'll learn more from your body than a book, because your body is you, and it will tell you the encodings of your soul, of your spirit, of where you've been before. and where and the vibrations that it resonates with. So please fast, learn how to control the body, tame the body, because the body is the lower self, but not lower in the higher, in the sense of hierarchy, but it is the place where we experience things rather than being the all experiencing, the all perceiving. You'll see in the classes to come, this will get better. So if you aren't growing, you are dying. Our atoms, our cells, they're growing, they're dying, and they're being rebirthed in every moment. That's fucking trippy. But if your ego is stagnant and thinks it knows it all, you're dying, you're disintegrating, because you're here to learn. You're here to not know it all, to know that you don't know it all, and to be able to learn in every moment. So life itself is your teacher, and you are in a state of constant learning. I mean, everything outside of you is you, and when you're able to see this as within, so without, you can be a beautiful, beautiful student of the exterior world, because you will not want to hurt it. You will want to learn from it. You will want to nurture it. You will want to be a part, an integral part of what you're experiencing and when you're able to let go and surrender your mind to the unknown of the moment, because you never know what's going to happen unless what you're intending to make happen. But other than that, you can get gold out of every experience. You can get the answer to your questions in any moment if you're looking for it, for that sign in that moment. So all the lessons you will learn in life, in the realm of experience, moments, peoples, books, teachers, etc., will ultimately lead you back to yourself. It's about realizing how much remembrance your ego limited self can expand its own awareness to its boundless state, and to continually allow more unlimited infinite source into your consciousness. So I'm saying your individual self, who you call yourself, your ego, your thinking, your intellect, your reasoning can be expanded, and your expansion on your wisdom and knowledge is your ability to allow life to teach you, or allow your higher self to teach you, when going into dissolving yourself and back to the pure awareness, and to continually allow more unlimited infinite source into your consciousness. The movement of your ego is through this infinite consciousness. So everything you're moving through is through God. Your eyes and what you could perceive and hear and feel, what your nervous system is picking up, is a limited perspective of energy. You cannot hear things that your ears can't pick up, and you cannot perceive things that your eyes can't pick up. And when raising Kundalini, you're raising your ability to receive and perceive higher frequencies of sound and light, and all the other senses. They are heightened because your nervous system is heightened through the astral light that is moving through our body, which is the pure prana, the pure essence moving through our body. Alright? And these ideas and practices are only tools and keys for the mind to ponder, to look through and sift through and explore the dimension of that idea. And there are keys for you to hear and identify that inner voice, your inner guidance, your higher self. So we must go beyond the concepts, beyond the ideas. We must utilize them, but leave them when we are in communication with that inner spirit or inner guidance, or that you that is on the other side. But that you is you right now, experiencing your experiences. So let's get on to it. So the genuine love for reading itself, when cultivated, is a superpower. The means of learning are abundant. It's the desire to learn that's scarce. Learning, we have been numb to learning. We have been tangled in school our first years of our lives. We are numb to learning. We don't want to learn anymore. We think we know it all. We think we got it all figured out. And they desensitized our minds to wanting to learn. We just want to be fulfilled. We want to be instantly gratified and fulfilled by external stimulus all the time. And that's dangerous for our spirit. So employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall come easily by what others have labored hard for. These books will help you. These books have helped me. They will leap your mind into experiences that you do not have to go through. They are pure wisdom. Authors, artists, they are condensing their whole life into one book or one song or one experience, and you could learn from that, from 50, 40 years, 80, 90 years of experience, and you can take that's priceless. And you could implement that into your being and see what it does to your consciousness, whatever they are conveying, and you will know what to look for if the situation pops. So the possession of knowledge, unless accompanied by a manifestation, an expression in action, is like the hoarding of precious metals, a vain and foolish thing. Knowledge, like wealth, is intended for use. The law of use is universal, and he who violates it suffers by reason of his conflict with natural forces. So the knowledge, the information won't do anything for you. It will expand your perception in the sense that it will give you a light bulb moment. It will spark something. It will bring something out of you. It will help you realize something that you as your spirit already knew, but your ego, your intellectual self, your self-image, or your soul's awareness will realize that. Alright, next. So knowledge is truly power. It is, though, raw potential power, for when not internalized, understood, and applied, it becomes a superstition to you. There's a difference between knowing all the steps and actually doing it. There's a difference between just having knowledge and or applying the knowledge to yourself and being able to say what the knowledge actually did. Knowledge will expand your mind, though. You must know the ledge. You must know the limitations of your ego. The action of any knowledge will change your life. So we must internalize knowledge. We must play with it. We must see what it has for us. And if we cannot extract anything from that knowledge, it's not meant for us in this moment, or it was not knowledge that we did not vibrate with, and that's okay. So the key here is your foundation of your reasoning is based in how much knowledge you do have. Your foundation of your reasoning is based on how much knowledge you do have. So your ability to reason is based on how much your ego knows. What your ego believes in is your ability to reason. So imagine if you believe things that don't serve you, so you're only reasoning between those realities of self-destruction because that's all you know. But what if you know that your reasoning is flawed in the sense that your perception isn't real to the creator, which is you. It's only an illusion. It's only a funnel of reality. And what if you know that you can reason anything and create that illusion in your mind? So the more knowledge you gain, the more you give your mind the ability to reason. The more knowledge you gain, the more you give your mind the ability to reason. The more possibilities, logically creating your reality, allowing access to different probabilities and possibilities for you to create in your future moment. You'll be free if you're able to use your reasoning and logic through many avenues, through many sources. So you know what the issue is with this world? Everyone wants a magical solution to their problem. And everyone refuses to believe in magic. So we see magicians on TV as illusionists. That's what we call them. Well, magic may be the harnessing of the elemental forces around us, of nature, of the unconscious mind, of the primal substance. But on a different level as well, magic is an illusion. It is a spell. It is an illusion of the spirit. It is an illusion to the spirit because in our minds we are put under a spell. Our ego is put under a spell by what is programmed into our subconscious mind. So we must put ourselves under our own spell, under our own illusion, to deal with reality and live a beautiful life, which is determined on our subconscious programs and how we could operate our mind in those subconscious programs. So magic is an illusion. It's a creation of spelling and words and feelings and emotions to manifest a reality that is automatic in our own minds. And it could become real, and it is real in the outer world because we are vibrating that. It's time to reveal these secrets that we already know. Alright, so let's go. What's real to the individual is the invisible. Everything that we experience is from the invisible. It's inside. It's appearing inside of you. It's appearing on the screen of your awareness, which is what you are. You are the all-perceiving, perceiving in a limited perception, which is your body. And when you master all these energies that this body is able to tap into and then rise above to the next realities of consciousness that we could tap into, we are able to merge back into the all and realize our allness. Yup. So the rules for being human, handed down from the ancient Sanskrit. You will receive a body. You may like it or not, but it will be yours for the entire period round. So this body is what your spirit wanted to experience in. God did not create this body as another entity. You as another entity created this body. You as pure being created this body. Because you are God inverted on itself. So your body is what holds the pure spirit of your higher self, that astral light. It holds that. It is meant to ground the spiritual essence, the prana, or the light inside of this body to illuminate your world, your invisible world. 2, you will learn lessons. You are enrolled in a full-time informal school called life. All the information that your senses are receiving can help you learn and bring you to higher levels of understanding and knowledge and information if you accept what's being presented to you in the moment through your nervous system and through your body. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Growth is a process of trial and error, experimentation. The failed experiments are as much part of the process as the experiment that ultimately works. So there's a divine reason behind everything. We see divine reasons through good, and we see the divine reasons through bad, which is the invisible movement, the invisible essence, the invisible reason, the higher reason of why things are going on this effectual plane, which we call reality, which is outside of us or seemingly outside of us, when it is us creating this external reality through our body. And it's all alchemy. Alchemy is done through perception, and if you're able to look through the veneer, the surface of what's going on and the surface of why things are happening, in the sense that this is happening to me and I'm experiencing this, and there's no way I'm getting out, or there's no hope, or there's no thing I can extract out of this lesson, I'm going to suffer, because all I'm here to do is learn. And that goes to number 4. A lesson is repeated until it is learned. That's it right there. And if we learn how to go inside and solve our problems and solve our conflicts and issues and heal ourselves, we won't have to deal with the balancing factor of nature and the universe to balance us out externally, because as a God, as spirit, we're able to balance ourselves out internally and then experience more bliss on this external experience where we move through our own energy. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you have learned it. Then you can go to the next lesson. So it's all triggers. You can trigger your mind. You can trigger your being if you want. If you feel so to do so, you can trigger it. You can trigger in yourself these things. And if you are triggered constantly emotionally, in a survival state, like you want to defend yourself psychologically, that is a trigger. You're being triggered from the outside, and you are triggered every day. If you're reacting emotionally to other people, even outside talking to them, on an external level that you're reacting to their behavior, or you're internally reacting and having judgments towards them and self-destructive talk against them, that's triggers. Learning lessons does not end. There's no part of life that does not contain its lessons. If you are alive, there are lessons to be learned. So my great teacher Dr. Valentine talks about that we take a body to be a student. Our spirit, our essence, who is what we are, our source that created us, our higher self that created us, we took this body to learn, we took this body to experience, to receive. That's why our whole internal awareness is all reception, it's all receiving. We're all receiving. But if you want to be a god, and we are all gods because we all creating on the invisible level. We're all creating from our thoughts and our feelings and emanating outward. So our ability to create and our ability to be a creator depends on how we're receiving information from the outside, how we're perceiving the information from outside. We are making calculations through our reasoning, through our past experiences, from our past experiences, to create a reality in our mind that we believe is true because we have solid foundation of our reasoning. And that's creating our reality right there. 6. There's no better than here. The moment is all there is. The past was the moment. The future is the moment. We're in a continuous cycle. It's all connected in this moment. When your there has become here, you will simply obtain another there that will again look better than here. So desire is intuition talking to us when it's a pure desire, a higher desire, not an earthly desire, not a desire for the cravings of your body, not when your vehicle is clean and you can hear what your soul is saying to you in the moment on what to do and what to act and what to speak. But when your there has become here, when this is law of attraction, this is as above so below, as within so without, the law of correspondence. This right here, this is the key right here. When your there has become here, you will simply obtain another there. And I'll take that and say, when you desire something and you want something, you could have it in your invisible realm first. You could be self-responsible and create in your own mind a template or thought process with the feeling and reality, which is reality, the thought process and the feeling combined. You create a reality in your being, or you step into that reality as your being. You become it. Instead of just being, you become that frequency, that energy that you created in your mind. And in that moment, you're collapsing all the timelines of what your thinking process is going through future or past experiences. You collapse all those and you create a focus point of energy, of light in your darkness. And your darkness is your pure being, and the light is your ego, is your projected being, or your emanation. And you're able to embody that light that you created. You're able to observe and be that light that you've created, which could be a health form or a power form or any type of idea you want to solidify in the moment. You could actually initiate it with a thought, feel it, feel the frequency of the thought and how it needs to be balanced out, in the sense that when you're first going into creating a reality, you have to get comfortable with how your being is operating that reality. So if it doesn't believe that reality that it created, you have to build it up. You have to put feelings into the mind of that thought. And when you get to that stage of feeling, wow, I got this feeling, you got to milk it. You got to keep threshing it out in your mind. You got to keep feeling, you got to keep focusing on it. Especially if it's pure and you feel it and it's not coming from your ego, it's coming from your spirit. You're able to really become that reality you desire. So 7, others are merely a mirrors of you. Others are merely mirrors of you. It's the law of correspondence again. This reality, this external world is a mirror to your internal world. And if you've been doing the work, if you've been seeing synchronicities of your thought and the outside world, that is just the beginning. Because when you start to raise yourself up in your life force and your energy and your soul's energy up through your spine, and you raise that kundalini, you start to see more connectedness. You start to experience more heightened senses and intuitions. Alright, the car is passing by. But what I was going to say is, I've even wasted my life force energy, and I've raised myself up to a certain level, and I would waste my essence, and I would dip back down. But even when I dip back down, I could still, even if in my root chakra or my sacral or my solar plexus, I could still see what the universe is trying to convey to me. So the more you raise your sexual energy up in your primal essence, your creative principle, which is generated through the organs, and your organs is the occult realm, your body is the occult realm that you extract information from, which is your subconscious mind, which is the outer aspect of your soul in the sense of being your body, and your inner aspect of your soul being your inner being, your light, which is generating the organs. You can see that no matter where you are in your journey, no matter how deep you've gone, you could find a light. You could find the communication that the universe, your spirit, the spirit, everything around us is trying to convey to us. And especially through people, especially through kids, especially through adults, especially through the sounds you're hearing, through the silence, through your thoughts. Your thoughts are divine. The universe is trying to communicate with you through your thoughts, through your feelings, in every moment. It doesn't matter if you don't think you're spiritual or not. You are inside this balancing universe. The universe runs on balance, runs on consistency of change, and the consistency of change is balance. It's like a unicycle going on a tightrope. It has to keep moving and to keep balanced. So that's what this experience is. And if you look at this experience like this, you'll be able to see that you can't attach yourself to these experiences and these past events, because it will keep you left unbalanced and feeling out of balance. So you cannot love or hate something about another person unless it reflects to you something you love or hate about yourself. This is it right here. I mean, it's like a receptor. If you could receive something, if you could perceive something, it's because you can relate to it. It's because you have a perception for that. And when you go through more experience and more life, and the people who are very older and have more experience, they have more receptors for the pain and the suffering and all the different energies that we can come to experience. They're not alien to them, so they have a receptor for that, and they're able to discern what is good and bad if you've been learning to do that. But if not, you are judgmental. You are projecting external power and losing your internal power when you're being triggered by what you don't like in other people, because what you don't like in other people is just happening in you because you're the denominator of your experience. So if you are experiencing something you don't want to experience, or you have resistance towards, which is what it really is, you are feeling attacked. And the attack came from the occult realm. It came from your inner realm first. So that's what's very important to acknowledge, that we are projecting onto other people and they are projecting onto us, and we must be in a loving space to neutralize those things. And if we have to, we have to alchemize them, and if not, they're projecting love and all that, we can accept it and project that back. But realize that even your closest family and friends, they're the biggest projectors, they're the biggest mirrors of you, and you guys have to look at that and be with it, and internalize those judgments and internalize those thoughts and feelings we have about other people, because it's not true. We're only seeing a side of them, and that's the side that they show us, because that's the side we show them. We are mirrors. So 9, what you make of your life is up to you. You have all the tools and resources you need. What you do with them is up to you. The choice is yours. So who you are, your true essence knows everything. Your true essence has everything. Your true essence is abundant. Your true essence is energy. You're not this person. You're not this body. You're the energy moving this body. You're the one who created this body. You are the unconscious part of yourself. And the unconscious part of yourself can constantly be accessed. The unconscious mind, which is you, which is God, which is the moving principle all around us, you are that. You're that unconscious. You are the body's functions. If you cut yourself, your body heals. That's you. That's you in your pure essence, and that is the breath. We don't breathe our breath. Our spirit breathes our breath for us, but we are that spirit. So when we connect that breath, and we be that breath, and we realize that we can manipulate and be this principle of the life force, the unconscious mind that we make conscious. We manipulate reality. We bring more spirit into us. We bring more life force into us. We bring more of ourselves into us. When we speak about this separation between us and the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind being the soul, being the body, and being the yin and yang factor of gender of the subconscious mind, which is the conscious mind, which is the awareness of being in the body, we are able to speak to a beautiful aspect of our soul when we realize the soul is just a sun. And we can speak metaphysically with the black sun in your pineal gland, or the solar plexus as being the outer sun. But I'm speaking of the soul, or the sun, being the mediator between spirit and matter. And spirit and matter is united through the sun, through the soul. So to experience, it's like the Vesica Pisces, spirit and matter on two different sides, but the reason they're together is because of the soul, because of you. So if you see this, you see that you can, as your ego, as your consciousness, as your conscious mind, as your reasoning, your thinking level, you can see that you have to expand that and surrender it to your subconscious mind, which is your feeling, which is your mindfulness. And those two go hand in hand, because the thought forms that the reasoning or the intellect creates, the masculine principle, what it believes and what it allows is what is ingrained into the subconscious mind, which is your body, which is the feminine principle. And this feminine principle accepts whatever. It'll do whatever. But the man, or the reasoning intellect, has to be the guardian of what is accepted into the subconscious mind, what it believes. And whatever the man believes, the woman will believe it. Metaphysically. Gender is, we are all meant to play our gender role, in the sense that we have to embody those principles of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and then master the other side and understand that side. And that's the lifelong process of being in the opposite gender, of being in the gender we are in, to understand that other gender, which will then be your soulmate or your twin flame, whatever, your wife, your husband. Alright, so let's get into it still. What you make of your life, not. 9. The answers lie inside of you. The answers to life questions lie inside of you. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. Look, listen, and trust. We have been conditioned to look outside of ourselves, in a book, in a person, in our experiences, in our signs of what we want to see. These are great, beautiful, fulfilling experience of learning from the outer world. But when you learn to turn inward and speak to your spirit, or your ego, your intellect, your reasoning, yourself speaks to your higher self, your spirit, the one that knows it all, which is you. It's just not you as a person, you as God, you as the spirit, you as the pure essence. When you trust that your inner world is what creates reality and what holds the temple of the pure essence of God, when you close your eyes, you're going inside yourself. You're going inside the spirit. You're going into the true reality. Because the true reality is that if we all close our eyes, we're all in the darkness. And that's who we are. And the light is out here. So we're meant to illuminate that darkness with our light, with our spiritual light. And it's been inverted, because the true essence is darkness. But that's the true light. That's the true thing we should be looking for. When we look for the artificial light, which is out here on the external world, which is the Maya, the illusion, we see that it's illusion to the spirit. We see that it is not real to the spirit. The spirit is beyond these physical senses and this physicality. That's what God is. That's that higher principle. That's realizing that. And you ground that awareness into your ego, or you pummel that shit into your ego, and constantly have to tame it and realize the limitations of the ego to travel through the densities of energy. And you have to leave your ego behind, because it could only deal with earthly concepts unless you get into deeper concepts and aspects. They could take you to higher planes of reality, of consciousness, but not with thought. Sometimes the thought could be a catalyst. It's all a catalyst. Thoughts are catalysts, words are catalysts. They are abstracts. They go beyond themselves. They're not meant to be stuck onto. So you can even come up with your own answers practically. You could meditate, go inside and look inside and trust yourself, and build that connection with yourself and unify the lower and the higher. But what I'm saying is, right now, that if you don't know how to can't do that, and you don't have time right now. You'll have to have time for that, but you can. Your mind creates reality. Your ego creates formats and templates that could give your subconscious mind an order, and it'll carry it out. So you could write the answers on a piece of paper and write it and believe it and feel it and ingrain it into your subconscious mind and know that I've programmed you. Alright, that's it. You can say you know the answers because you do. You do. In the moment, you're going to find clarity one day. So why don't you just magnetize that moment to you? Why don't you embody that moment of clarity right now? There is no security on this earth. There is only opportunity. Our body is the earth, and everything's shaped from the heart. And if you unscramble the letters of earth, it's heart in anagrammic language. So you'll see that we are the earth, and you communicate with the earth through your body. Your body goes through the same shifts as the earth, but as a conscious creator of your own earth, of your own universe, we have an opportunity in every moment, whether it's in the past or the future, to create a new future, or even create a new memory or new perception of the past. And the choices we have is empowerment or victimization between our past, our future, or this moment. And we could choose to be empowered by what's happened, what's going to happen, and what is happening, or we could choose to be a victim to that. And if you want to be secure and you want to feel secure, I think the best way to feel secure is just in yourself, instead of feeling secure on an idea or a concept or an idea, because that idea or concept might not apply in every moment, and you need to utilize different tools for you to operate through the moments. So we'll go to the next. A different version of you exists in the minds of everyone who knows you. So on one level, you could be someone's son, and on the other level, you could be someone's father. You're a nephew, you're an aunt, you're a niece, you're a child, you're a parent, you are a friend, an associate, a stranger. They all exist differently in someone else's mind. You exist differently in someone else's mind. But the true compass of yourself is determined by you. The true identity of who you are is determined by you, and that can limit you or empower you. And we gotta learn to see that even the role we're playing in our mind and the label we are identifying with is not truly us. And that's how you won't get hurt as much in the sense of your ego, because your ego is your identity and what you believe yourself to be and what your ego believes to be true. So if you're able to hold an identity in yourself that you want to create for yourself to embody it, and you're just starting out embodying it, it's gonna hurt when other people don't really see that identity you're projecting of yourself in your own mind, and then you're gonna question, is that identity for you? But you have to buy into that identity that you have, and you have to embody it, and it becomes real in the outer world when another person adopts that identity to you, and It's just a matter of how many people believe you are that you say you are. But to keep that, and to keep that consistency, is that you believe that you are who you say you are. And for spirituality and realizing the spirit, you have to realize you aren't that, and that you're just projecting that. And you could go back and be formless, because an identity is a form. So the person you think of as yourself exists only for you. Let me say that again. The person you think of as yourself exists only for you, and even you don't really know who that is. So who you are is a compilation of everything your body's been through, and who you think you are right now in your own awareness, or subconsciously how you perceive your past moments. You created an identity for yourself of who you are and how you moved, and they could be seen in archetypal ways, as in movies or TV shows, or stereotypes, because these TV shows and movies are playing on archetypal principles of lazy, outgoing, shy, introverted. You fit into these categories, and then you categorize yourself in these archetypes. So that's just on the level of stereotypical in movies, and certain energies and emotions that you can embody as a person. But when you realize you're not that, it's liberating, and you could change your identity and your label. So every person you meet, have a relationship with, or make eye contact on the street with, creates a version of you in their heads, and that's based off of their own perceptions and the way they perceive someone. So if someone's a certain color or a certain race, and they had a bad experience with that race or color, they're going to identify that experience with that other person to you if you look or act or have the mannerisms of that person or resemblance. You're not the same person to your mom, your dad, your siblings than you are to your coworkers, your neighbors, or your friends. There are 1,000 different versions of yourself out there in people's minds. A you exists in each version, and yet your you yourself isn't really a someone at all. Wow. So you do exist in different versions of you. That's why we don't have an understanding, because we are imposing our perceptions onto someone, and that's not them. Or we are imposing our perceptions onto someone, and that's not them. And the key to this is being able to be receptive and surrender and see what's being said beyond the surface of the words, to feel the energy they are emitting and that they're embodying in that moment, and to see what their body language is saying to you, what kind of language and kind of toning they're using to convey what they actually want to say, if they aren't straightforward with you. And the you that exists inside of you is an illusion, because that you can change and shift in the moments that you have to change and shift. So you're not going to act one way to your friend and one way to your child, or one way to the dog and one way towards a tree. There are all different perceptions. And if you realize that your perceptions are illusions, and they're just condensing reality into a sort of a funnel for you to actually make sense of reality, understand what's going on, you have to logically do something with it. But that is an abstraction from reality, because the real reality is feeling. It's being in the moment and being able to just receive and see what is going on. Your impositions, or your imposing upon the reality, is what changes reality. But that is not necessarily what we have to do all the time, because if we keep doing that, we will be pushed to a point of surrender to balance ourselves out. Alright, so delusion is one of the highest traits of the most successful. Justin Perry, you are creators. This guy is amazing. Check out his YouTube channel. You are creators. So every single successful person had to become delusional in their mind. They had to shut out every other person's voice to listen to that inner voice, to be able to keep striving towards their goal, even if they did not see it in the physical realm. Their vision was so bright and focused on and created in their own mind that whatever everyone else was saying, they seemed delusional, because it's not normal. And what normal is just an agreed upon reality, and that's consistent, or it's the most of what's going on. So if you want to be if you want to be anything, you have to be delusional. You can't succumb to other people's own delusions. And right now we'll get into even what we are saying to ourselves, and the story we have in our head, and our formulations and ideas about other people. That's a delusion in itself. And your mind, or what your spirit can do to make knowledge or understand the outer world, is a delusion in itself, because everyone's under their own delusion. Everyone's under their own spell. And spell in the sense that the language that we have, the words that we use, the language puts your mind or your being under a spell. So everyone's under their own delusion. But the thing is, some of us are operating on the delusion of the past, and that past is dictating our future, and that is delusion. But if you can create a future you want and become delusional over that, you create that reality. And we'll get to how our being is formless. So even your failure is delusional, because it's the story you're telling yourself that's casting a spell, or casting out into your body, your subconscious, how life is. And that's a delusion in itself, because every single person has a different reality and a different story they tell themselves about what reality is. And that becomes reality in your own mind. Alright. So when you get a feeling that you can't do something, remember this: that the feeling is a reflection of your conditioning, not the reflection of your potential. Woo! I mean, that's self-explanatory in itself. When you get a feeling that you can't do something, remember this: that the feeling is a reflection of your conditioning, not the reflection of your potential. We had no limits before we were imposed limitations, and the only limit is a contraction. It's a fear, and that limits you. Or it's not even fear, because fear and love are on the same polarity, but a limitation condenses a polarity into a polarization, into one side of the coin instead of the other. So if you feel you can't do something, it's because you've told yourself that you can't do it enough times, rather than you saying you can do it enough times. So it's all about rebalancing or polarizing yourself back into a certain reality. It's like an on and off switch. But that the feeling is a reflection of your conditioning, not the reflection of your potential. So a human being can be anything and do anything. There's no difference between the next person or another, rather than their own conditioning. So your conditioning is the thing that determines what you think your potential is. or how much potential you think you have. All right, let's go to the next. So never forget, what you're looking for is what is looking. These next few slides are going to be exactly what that's about. But you are the spirit. You are the awareness beneath everything. And when you can look back and not be someone, not attach yourself to an identity, and reflect upon yourself as awareness, and just be awareness, you are able to sit with your true self and be your true self and realize your totality and your fullness. And these words are just abstractions. They're just guides to point you back to yourself. And when your words are supposed to point you back to yourself, and maybe before your meditation, so you could actually surrender your ego and sacrifice it to the spirit and let it be engulfed by the spirit or the consciousness that is actually looking. And what is looking is God. It's peering through us. So if you're able to look back at what's perceiving reality, you're going to go through that word or that concept and realize yourself back into the true spirit. You're the true self, if that makes sense. I'm speaking a whole nother language right now. Alright, so this is where it's gonna get heavier. The pre-Socratic Greek philosopher Parmenides taught that the only things that are real are things which never change. So what doesn't change? Everything is changing. Your thoughts are changing. Your feelings are changing. The moments are changing. The scenery is changing. The vibrations and the energies and the emotions are changing. The speech is changing. That it's not real in the sense that it's not real to the spirit, because the spirit doesn't change. It's the same. So, and the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher Heraclitus, I don't know how to say it, taught that everything changes. So if everything changes, what doesn't change? If you superimpose their two views, you get this result. Nothing is real. No thing is real. Everything is real. Everything is an illusion to the spirit, because the spirit is not a thing. It's what moves the things. It's what perceives and experiences the things. So you have to go back to being nothing. It's the art of doing nothing. That's spirituality right there. It's not about doing. Doing can take you to the parts of being no thing. Alright. So if we really delve into this, truly all is changing. How can we know what is real then? If the truth is changed, then what is constantly true? The truth is inside of you. The truth is that you are the denominator of all your experiences. The truth is we are the underlying factor, the denominator for change to exist. We are the underlying principle. We are what moves this. Not our ego, but our spirit. Not who we are, not as a body, but as the underlying principle of the body. The overlying principle of the body. So that is being the changeless, the vibrationless, the stillness. That's who you truly are. Everything's vibration. But if everything's vibration, then there has to be a polar opposite, which is vibrationless. There's change. There has to be something that's not changing. And that's who you truly are. If there's sound and sound everywhere. That's an illusion to the spirit, because the spirit is still. The spirit is silence. So if you dip yourself back into the silence instead of the sound, you're dwelling into the part of spirit, which is the polarity of matter. It's all right here. We're in the spirit world right now, but our body is condensing all the vibrations on the, which is creating light or color spectrums, and our perceptions from our body doesn't perceive the higher and the lower of what we can't perceive. So when you raise that kundalini, or you open that third eye or that first eye, you're able to perceive those higher realities or even the lower ones, because your spirit is awake in the body. So to see this and realize this, you allow yourself to be any vibration, thought, image you choose to be, or to let go of any that are not serving you, because you now know what, who, where you truly are. So this positive thinking, we got to be positive. Yes, we have to polarize ourselves to positivity and not have that be our dominant experience, but the vibrations, the thoughts, the images that we're not so comfortable sitting with, hold on, that we're not so comfortable sitting with is a part of our experience that we have to experience, because you are everything. You are the spirit. You are here to experience every single vibration and every single emotion and thought that you could possibly can perceive. So if you're able to be formless in how you move your perception through your mind, and how you are entertaining and acknowledging the thoughts, images, and emotions you are experiencing in yourself, and you say, I know who I am, but this is who my being has divinely shown me to become in this moment, because I'm the being, not the becoming. I'm the being who is observing what I could become or what I have became. You're able to detach yourself, or more so understand what is being shown to you in this divine moment, to acknowledge, because there's no mistake or no chance. So you're experiencing or interfacing with this reality of thought or emotion to extract of an understanding from what is trying to teach you, and then you could choose to attach yourself or be that or embody that, or choose to detach yourself from that reality that no longer serves you into the next moments. So if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. Your language, your realities that you're speaking in your mind is creating a sort of movie type narration over what is, what truly is. It's more of watching a movie with the sound off. You can have a more sense of reality when you turn off that logical part of you and just able to interface with what's going on, instead of having a chatter in your mind about what is going on. You're rather feeling, and in the feminine aspect, which is matter, you're having the feminine aspect present itself to you so you can learn from it. Alright? And feminine in the metaphysical aspect. The Science of Love, John Baines. Powerful book. So I can remember as a baby child this eternal ecstasy flowing through me and everything around me. There was no time. It was all now. I was connected to all. I felt spirit, life force, source, whatever term you want to use for the conscious intelligence moving the world, which is you. Not the ego, but the true self beyond the ego, the one that is observing the ego. It was the spirit, and the spirit was me. Everything around me was spirit. I felt no wants, no desires. It was the state of pure fullness and bliss. Desire becomes an instinct from your higher self to move in the future when you become older. There was no separation. Everything was me, and or everything is me. Not the individual is everyone, but the individual individualizes itself when it has a conception of itself. So when I think and feel about it, we all yearn for that same feeling we felt as a baby child. Because I for sure have, and I've seen that the end goal in spiritual work, we didn't need, that is the end goal in spiritual work, to realize our fullness, to be back in our own fullness, to realize who and what you actually are. No external stimulus will give you that. You have to go within yourself and go through the conditioning and the imposing that who you are is who you are. And when you're able to emotionally and intellectually look past all that, you'll see your true self. You'll be your true self, even though you are your true self right now. You just think you're not. You're fulfilled already. You have everything you need inside of you. We speak empowerment. We didn't need no external stimulus to fulfill us. In this state, we simply just were. We were being. We're just being. You don't have to do anything. We're just being. When you have to do something, be while you do. And that makes the doing more powerful. So what has happened to us? We start to individualize and separate ourselves from the rest of the all mentally. We start to identify with ourselves as this single entity body and others as another. This separation in the mind is the root of all suffering. As labels, thinking arises in our mind with our self-image, name, race, class, etc., starting to think only in duality. Thinking in labels, black, white, race, class, that is duality, good and bad. Duality and not enough. Holistic, connected thinking and feeling. You have to surrender, get into the feminine aspect of your mind. All labels are distinctions of the all. It's the ordering of frequencies mentally to distinguish the varying vibrations of expressions of the one energy. The zodiac is archetypal energies. And they're just, we name them Scorpio, Taurus, whatever, Virgo. You name them to distinguish the constellations from each other. But if you just look at the sky and you have no concept of what they are, they're just stars. So they're just one thing, but our mind individualizes things. They make them distinct from one another. And that's what your body is making distinctions. It is said that the first 7 years of our lives, our being, subconscious, biological computer, body, are sponges, passive absorbers to our environment. The people around us, if not spiritually aware, start to plant these seeds of duality in our mind. Language, words, you create with language. You individualize through language. That's how you create your reality. But if you don't realize you're above this language or before this language, you're going to get stuck in those spells. And you're not going to find fulfillment in yourself. So when the conscious mind forms, or the ego forms, or the individual awareness of reason to create in the outer and inner worlds arises, is logical thinking and reasoning is based in and operates on the programs downloaded in the first 7 years. So your whole 7 years of your life, you're programmed with the people around you. Their programs, their thought beliefs, their emotions, the way they perceive the world. And then when you go to high school, you operate on those and you start creating your own perceptions, your own self-identity. And that's a mixture of how you perceive your adolescence and the mixture of how your parents or the people around you formalize their reality. So you're a mixture of how you perceived the world in adolescence around there and through the years, and a mixture of everyone else's that's fixed until you're able to unprogram yourself. And we'll get into that. We've already told you how to do it. You have to know who you are. These programs can be limiting our creative ability, and most importantly, blind our own self-confidence, love, and worth. I see a lot of parents when I'm just observing outside how they project their own insecurities and fears upon their own children at very young ages. And they cannot protect themselves with the masculine principle of the conscious mind to their subconscious. And they just absorb it. So, pattern and repetitious mindsets, mentalities, thought form energies, which lead to behaviors, habits, rituals, religious acts, are transferred to us from the energies we were around most from 0 to 7 years of age. That's it right there. You get mad, you get triggered from your family members. Just realize you have a receptor for that trigger. So there's something in you that is triggered by it. There's something that you see in that other person that is within you that's bothering you, and that bothers yourself about, because that's who you are, and you're seeing another person in that moment, and you see that you think it's that other person, but it's actually you, because whatever you're experiencing in your mind is reality. Whatever you're experiencing in your mind is reality. So you think of yourselves as humans searching for a spiritual awakening, when in fact you are a spiritual being. You are spirit condensed. You're spirit in matter. Your spiritual beings attempting to cope with the human awakening. Seeing yourselves from the perspective of the spirit within will help you to remember why you came here and what you came here to do. We did not come from outer space. We are extraterrestrials. We are beyond the terrestrial plane. We are beyond Earth. Our spirit is beyond Earth, but you are the true self, is the commander of your ego, of yourself. And the true self gets tangled up with the ego when the true self identifies with the ego, or with the language it's using, or with the concepts it has, or the concepts it believes to be true. So we have to shed all those ideas and conceptions of everything about the world to be able to learn. We back. So the body is the temple of the God within you. Therefore it is said, man, know thyself. So if you're able to look within and look past the conditioning, and look past your dialogue, and not have another dialogue when you're experiencing the dialogue that the ego is saying. All right, when we say the ego, or your identity, or the identities you've created, these identities, these thought forms have their own being. They speak to you. They speak to you. Your thoughts speak to you. Your addictions speak to you. Your perceptions speak to you. They speak to your being. So the key is, when you're in meditation, do not acknowledge them, look at them, but do not be consumed by them. They are alive. You create beings inside of your mind. And if you continue to identify with that being, it becomes stronger. If you want to create a reality and create a being, yes, keep feeding that being. But if not, you're going to have to love it, let it starve, send it away, dissolve it back into yourself. In the sense of love, alchemize it, understand it, extract gold from that, purify it, refine it, polarize it. So you have to know yourself in the sense of who you've been, who you've became, where you are. Know your numerology. All different ways that you can know yourself, and the patterns and the energies that you came with astrology in your natal chart or your Mayan chart. But this is the other side of this. This is the truer side of this. That's your fake self. That's the the blueprint or the energy template that you have is those mediums to know what you are and what you became. And you can just do that by looking within yourself and acknowledging and being neutral to who you are. But right now, to know the true self, the omniscient, infinite being, non-self, one, the all, the spirit before manifest, the creation principle itself, etc. Whatever word you want to call it, God, the higher being, that's you. That's you. And the higher being is in the astral realm too. That's within you. But it's beyond that. It's beyond the astral realm. It's beyond the mental plane. So we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but our spiritual beings having a human experience. Yeah. We heard it. So enlightenment is when a wave realizes it's the ocean. You're just a wave. Your body is just a wave. It's just a toner. But at the same time, it's not. Who you are beyond this body, or what's within your body, is the whole ocean. It's the whole ocean. It's everything in totality. What you're looking outside is just a fragment, but what's experiencing the fragment is the whole thing. You can experience your thoughts and emotions as waves, or just ripples in your own awareness. Alright, so limitation happens to the all-perceiving, the all-knowing, when we perceive. So this is what we're going to get into, limitation. Truly, there is nothing wrong with limitation. Being a being of an individual perception is a limitation, though, of our true essence of non-being, and or being the all-perceiving. To know your limit is to know the ledge, to have knowledge of self and beyond the self and of the real self. It is to know that your body is subject to the physical realm and your mind isn't. Your mind spirit is the underlying principle of physical existence, not thought, that which creates thought. It is not I think therefore I am. It is I am therefore I think. So to see that limiting the all into reality is how we create reality. This is it right here. To see that limiting the all into reality is how we create reality. Any concept or conception is limiting your perception. So how are you limiting it? How do you want to limit it? Because you're all perceiving, all knowing. Knowing becomes an ignorance to the spirit because you can know more. It becomes a delusion. You know what I'm saying? Only that which resonates with you is that which you keep. So when it comes to one's own mind in the confines of our own adopted limitations, these are there for us to grow more into our limitless spiritual selves, non-self. Limitations may be hard to face, but at the same time, these limitations only have to be first recognized, acknowledged with loving understanding, to then the core feeling, deep thought of the limitation, the intention, why this thought was created, and then polarize, alchemize to a desired limitation of reality that actually serves you. So when we go within ourselves and whatever we're experiencing that's popping into our awareness, that's from the rhythmic motion of experience and the momentum that we've acquired, when we close our eyes, these things that we are experiencing as thoughts and feelings, there is a momentum to that, and that momentum is being shown to you right now to be brought into balance, to have a harmonious rhythm of your awareness. So if you're able to be these things, simultaneously not being these things, being able to flow your awareness and your consciousness and allow it to flow like water through your being, to see them and perceive them and love them, and feel why they're there, and ask why they're there, what they're there to give you, what they're there to bring you, what they want you to acknowledge in themselves. Then you'll be able to unravel that gift that's given to you in that present moment. And that's alchemy, being able to turn the ignorance into understanding. And remember, a limitation is nothing wrong with it. It's how you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself to only seeing the good in everything, or you're limiting yourself to only see the bad, which is subjective to you. So duality, this is what everything's based off of. This is what experience is based off. It's based off yin and yang, good and bad, spirit and matter. So everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Hot and cold are the same thing, but different in degree. Extremes meet. They're on the same point. They're on the same line. All truths are but half truths. All truths are but half truths. Truth is made up in your mind. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The Kabbalion, 7 Hermetic Principles. This is what the whole class is based off of. Based off universal law. So polarity. To recognize polarity is to see that experience would not be without two, without you. The expression of life would not be without death. The beginning and end would not exist if it weren't for each other. No space means no stars. No black means no white. No evil means no good. They need each other. They are complementary expressions of the one energy. A pole has 2 points, and it's actually a 1. 1 is the foundation of 2. 1 is the foundation. The all is the foundation of everything that emanates from it. So as the great master teacher Dr. Phil Valentine says, the creator being all knowledge couldn't know itself. If you are all of something, you don't know what you are, because there are no boundaries to you. So the creator knew it had to create boundaries to know itself. If you gotta rewind this, please do. This is it right here. This is that work. This is that high science. This is that stuff that gets you high off that knowledge. And when you apply, you get even higher in your own consciousness, in your own awareness. Consciousness is awareness. So the reality is that man is one individual with 2 ends. Just like one line with 2 ends. If you look at the ends, it is 2. If you look at the line, it is 1. One end of the line is limited. It is limitedness. The other end of the line is unlimited. One end is man. The other end is God. Man forgets this end and knows only the end which he is conscious, and it is this consciousness of limitedness which makes him more limited. You have to look back towards your infinite self, the infinite part of you. Man is not just masculine man as in matter, but human being. Alright, Hazrat Inya Khan is the next slide, is still him. The mysticism of sound and music. That book is amazing. Get it. Alright, to continue. Otherwise, he would have a greater scope for approaching that unlimited which is in himself, which is only the other end of the same line. The line which he calls or which he considers to be himself. What we're conscious of is here in this moment. What we aren't conscious of until we look back and within ourselves is God, is the unlimited part of ourselves, which is in you. In you. No one's going to save you. You're going to save yourself by looking within yourself. When a mystic speaks of self-knowledge, this does not mean knowing how old I am, or how good I am, or how bad I am, or how right or wrong I am. It means knowing the other part of one's being. That deeper, subtler aspect of one's being. It is upon the knowledge of that being the fulfillment of life depends. So you will never find your fulfillment in a role, in who you become. You'll only find that fulfillment from subtracting of who you are and what you are and what you were and who you think you are. That's why successful people reach a plateau in their own consciousness, because they think where they got to, and all that work they put in into feeding a reality will make them whole and complete, and back with the fulfillment of being fulfilled as a baby. You cannot find that fulfillment out there. You only find it within yourself. You only find it in realizing what and who you are and what you are here to experience, which is your true self, and then give that true self back to other people. So there will be no God without man, and no man without God. Didn't man write these scriptures? Not God, man. At the same time, God is working through man. The presence is working through the person. You must allow your higher self or your spirit to work through you. Ooh, this is heavy too. So, rhythm or polarity, and rhythm operates in polarity. The swings, the motion, the movement is all there is. We're in a universe. We're in a song right now. And your health depends on the harmony of your thoughts, the rhythm of your thoughts, how you play your thoughts, how you play with your consciousness. It's your rhythm. And if you see on the bottom by the cosmic pendulum, inhalation, exhalation, and the 0 point, masculine and feminine, electric and magnet, electricity and magnetism, electromagnetic. That's all energy is. It's masculine and feminine at the same time. But that's duality. But then it goes back to the one. That's the invisible principle. That's the one that's behind it. Even though there's a little more to that. But you see that the exhalation, that's matter. That's projection. The inhalation is inside of you. That's the spirit world. That's the inner world. That's self-contemplation. That's realizing who and what you are and what you want to experience within yourself. You guys could read that. I'm going to read this left side. So being or recognizing spirit, the all, is to become or be back into the formless, consciously in form. We are so engulfed on our higher plane, inner world, spiritual realm, of and by the disease of our situation or our situations in form, earth, physicality, bringing pain where there is love. Most importantly, holding our past perceptions of situations of negativity, trauma, pain, etc., and bringing these past perceptions of memory into creative expectations into the future. The future is always happening now. We're operating in past perceptions, which all thought is, and using it to create a future. So how are you perceiving your past? Because it's the same thing as the future. You cannot know the future more than you know your past. So using the creative principle of our higher mind to create the lower, the inner formless realm to create on the outer form realm. It all starts within you, then it goes out there into the outer world. It's all within you. You experience reality in yourself first. That's why when you go to sleep, you're going into your subconscious, you're going into the dream, or you're going into the astral realm. You're going inside of yourself. And you're here to master both the astral realm and this physical realm at the same time. Once you know what you are, you're not both of these realms. You are both of them, but not. You are the underlying principle. You are the awareness of experience. Alright, I don't know if I'm making sense, but those who hear it and those whose spirit recognizes what I'm saying, they're getting something right now. So to experience the truth is truth to you, but to articulate and put it into words corrupts the truth, and it then funnels into the world of polarity, which is now a half-truth. Knowing the truth in your own experience is powerful. And to create half-truths, your truths, based in truth, of which your experience is the way we authentically manifest. To manifest from a pure state space, directly from a higher self or the aspect dwelling in the infinite. So you actually are your higher self mind living in your lower self body. This here is where good and evil comes from on the esoteric occult level. But to understand this is to know as above, so below. We must unify that which is above with that which is below, or what we call yoga, which in Sanskrit means union. So anything to unify your lower and higher self is yoga. Exercise, being in your body, just living in your body, you're grounding your higher self. Breathing is the higher and lower aspects. And you must be that middle point. That's your soul, it's the middle point, it's the sun. It's returning to the oneness of source creation from form to formless, finite into infinite, and being the balance between. The infinite had to condense itself to finite, the body, to be able to perceive itself. To see duality is necessary to experience oneness. They're on the same pole. Is the liberating key to your mind. You create truth through your mind. To understand that all is one in different variations and expressions. You can hear what you need to know in this moment or in other moments, wherever you are, just by being able to listen. Because everything is God or spirit speaking to you in the moment, and you're able to learn from that if you're able to surrender what you think and what you are. The discernment of truth to you is your godlike ability. The discernment of truth to you is your godlike ability or your creative ability. The discernment of what's good and evil, more so having the free will to choose the best seeds to plant in the inner mind and the outer world to sow later on. Whatever you're planting in your mind and watering, which is your beings, the beings you created in your mind or you have adopted from other people's, and you have them in your mind, are you feeding them with your focus and your attention? Because that's how you create reality right there. Because it's in you. Whatever you focus on, you're creating that in your mind. Quantum physics. Krishnamurti, the observer is the observed. Whatever you're observing, you're creating. So you have to go back in yourself and see what you've created. And talk to them and speak to them. And go through that shadow work. Because some of it's going to hurt. We'll get to that. Reality is merely an illusion. Albeit, I don't know what that means. A very persistent one. It's an illusion to the spirit. To the individual person, it is very real. But to the spirit, to the true self, this is an illusion. Because everything is one. Nothing is separated in the true self. Or whatever you want to call it. Reality is in your mind. The Tao of Wu. Everything is everything. When Buddha says all is illusion, he isn't saying that nothing is real. He's saying that your mind's projections onto reality are illusions. You're in a delusion in your own mind. those beings might be putting spells on you. You have to know who you are to not be able to be spelled on by your past beings you've created, or create your own beings to be able to be aware of those beings that are trying to go in on you. He's saying that the elements in the universe that form every physical thing we see, solid, liquid, gas, states of consciousness, if they're taken down to a subatomic level, they don't exist. Therefore, all we see is illusion because it's shape or form, not true essence. Because we see all is an illusion because its shape or form is not true essence. So the thinker is an illusion. In truth, there is only the thinking. There is only its perceiving. There is only its knowing. And you are that knowing presence in which all such apparent happenings appear. Do you see how I'm just going off the top, but how everything is weaving together? And if you keep listening to this and keep listening and start internalizing these ideas and concepts I'm bringing to you, you will liberate yourself. Do not believe you're attached to your thoughts. Watch each appear, but remain unconcerned, unbothered, and uninvolved with their content. So whatever is appearing, just know it is a thought. Don't say it's good or bad. That's later. That's not even now. You don't have to do that, because you could dissolve it back into yourself. But you could take context, you could take categorization and discernment later. But when you want to realize your true self, be unbothered, unconcerned with what's being said. Just watch them. Love them. They're your children. They're you. They're parts of you. So don't push them away. Love them. Bring them into you. And you'll see how they go away. Surrender to those things. Because it's not supposed to be a masculine principle. You're not supposed to project it and mold it. You're supposed to accept it and hear it and listen to it. That's the feminine aspect. That's the nurturing aspect. So you're not the thinker of your thoughts. So do not be boastful or sorrowful for whatever happens to appear. Let each one go. Cling not. Allow them to freely pass like a dandelion floating in the breeze. Be forever still. That's your true nature. Still as the mindful observer that you truly are. This is the peace of being. Be forever still as the mindful observer that you truly are. Okay. So be like, this is from Muji. Very powerful stuff. Be like the sky. The sky is always the sky, whether there are clouds or no clouds. Be like the sky. Be like the sky, and your moods and feelings, thoughts, projections, memories, and tendencies are just like clouds passing. It is not you who are coming and going. You simply watch them. If you look like that, it will be very easy for you to confirm yourself as consciousness. Consciousness is awareness. That's all consciousness means. So everything's aware, outside and inside of you. As a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. So whatever you feel mostly with passion and emotion, whether it's serving you or not, that's what you become. That's what your body emits out from itself as your aura. And it's all on different levels. Certain energies and thoughts vibrate in different levels of your consciousness, and generally it'll be your chakras, and those energies and thought forms and emotions correlate to that certain chakra. And you're able to strengthen your aura if you strengthen those vibrations of your chakra, of your light, of your black hole within you, the black holes within you. Even though your meridians are black holes, an empty space, but your chakras being the main energy centers you could project from and absorb and project from. So your being is a garden. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Your being accepts whatever. What makes a flower or weed is its service towards your being. You determine the vibration of these thought patterns. They become their own entity, flower, weed, and express their own scent, energy, vibration. The weeds are the belief patterns that are self-defeating, poisoning our being, constraining our growth, and creating dis-ease of the mind. They're not harmonious to your natural state. The flowers are the belief patterns that are self-benefiting, that take you to the next level of yourself. You're beyond these beliefs. But we have to know, what beliefs am I harboring? Since I know I'm not these beliefs, then I could discard or create any belief I want. The more we have believed a certain frequency in the garden, the larger it is. Are you praising certain thought forms or emotions or identities in you? Because that's how big it gets. Or are you resisting them? Because as you resist, it will persist. So don't resist it. Don't shy away, and don't not look in your garden and say, that's not there, because it's there. So we must constantly be taking care of our mental garden to have a healthy psychology ego. You have to have a healthy ego, and the way to have a healthy ego is to know you're not your ego. That's the only way. I don't know what else. That's the best way to have a healthy ego. And a healthy ego on that different level in creating reality is to know that you believe that that ego is real. All right? So being a mental gardener, when going inside your mental garden and taking care of cutting off the weeds, requires self-honesty, courage, neutrality, and discernment. The weeds will challenge you, test your strength, your ability to change and detach. Planting thought seeds into our mental garden requires consistent watering of attention and the end goal feelings of that flower you desire to grow. Think it with intention. Step into the intention and emanate that intention through feeling and focus. The final mystery is oneself. That's the only mystery there is. Other people will be mysteries to you forever, because everyone's multidimensional. Everyone is changing. Everyone's consciousness is changing. Everyone's identities and egos is changing. All the emotions and energies are changing. So we have to stand still, and we feel safe and secure knowing who and what we actually truly are. And that's all I have right now. But it's very powerful stuff. So thank you for your attention. Hit me up if you got any questions. This is just the beginning of the class. This is just the first draft. I have so much more. I have 2 notebooks of notes that I haven't even implemented in this class yet. And please, I'm here to serve and help the people that want to help themselves and know themselves. So thank you for your attention, and peace in.